whatever.
Well, this is why women actually find entrepreneurs attractive. It's not because they're entrepreneurs or because they're wealthy or whatever. It's because they're risk takers. And being a risk taker is attractive.
How old are you?
27.
Has dating gotten easier for you?
No.
Why not?
I feel like boys just get stupid until they reach 30.
So you think it's going to change magically in 3 years?
No. But I think they hit an age where mature. They're okay, maybe I should start treating women right. Under 27, they're I'll do what I want.
Could it be that maybe these men are just going for younger women?
No, so I dated a 39-year-old, and he was the same way. He didn't believe in monogamy, and he was like, no, I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Was he pretty successful?
Yeah.
So he was established?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said...
I don't think that should determine whether or not you should feel a certain way about women or not.
That's true. But he's 39 and you're 27.
I was 24 at the time.
Oh. How old are you?
Okay.
27.
So then I wrote on this. Let's see what I wrote. I wrote, majority of men are low value, and that's the issue, not age. Right? Dude, again, just fucking ripped. Just
oh, man.
ripped.
What were some of the comments?
Let's see. Well, it's this, and we don't know her standards of if she. They just don't. It doesn't even matter. The comments don't even matter.
It ends up being pointless.
Yeah, the comments don't matter. The fact of the matter is no matter what I post with respect to that type of shit, it's always men that disagree with me, and it's always women that absolutely agree with me for the most part. It's 90-10 and 90-10 the other way as well.
Why do you think that is?
It's a lot easier to be a weak-minded man and a very low-value man thinking that it's the woman's fault versus it's thinking that it, or realizing, not even thinking, realizing that it's your fault, and realizing that in order for you to attract not only the woman, but the lifestyle that you actually want, you have to change. They don't want to believe that. They want to believe that they are good enough the way that they are, and they don't have to change, and they shouldn't have to change for someone to accept them for who they are.
How do you think this ties into the whole nice guy mentality that a lot of guys seem to have? They think they're nice. They think they deserve a woman. You ever hear a woman complain about nice guys?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you think it kind of ties into the same kind of mentality here?
Absolutely.
I just have to be nice. I just have to treat her well.
Absolutely.
I just have to
There's
her
nothing to
flowers.
contend with a nice guy. And a nice guy is not threatening. A nice guy won't more than likely be capable of protecting for you. They more than likely might not be able to, listen, it takes what's the opposite of being agreeable? What's
disagreeable?
No, not is it disagreeable?
Antagonistic?
No, whatever, disagreeable. There's enough data that shows. Okay, so let's do this. Nice guys are agreeable, right? There's enough data that shows people that are agreeable don't make it as far as people that are disagreeable in life. Correct?
I can see that.
So that communicates to a woman that guy more than likely probably won't be on the upper echelon of being able to provide for her. It's that simple.
Then
There's
you have to go back a layer deeper and say, well, why is he being agreeable?
Why is he being agreeable?
Why is he being agreeable?
Why do you think he's being agreeable?
Because he's scared of her.
He's intimidated?
He thinks, oh, if I do what she wants, she's going to be happy.
Because what more than likely ends up happening with these people, with these men, is that she becomes his world. So what happens? He has to be agreeable in the relationship, because if he's not, he thinks that she'll bounce. When really it's actually opposite. But inherently, men think that that's what they have to do. They have to be the nice guy. And we're not saying that men have to treat women like shit. That's not what we're saying. High-value men are absolutely respectable to everybody, but they're not necessarily agreeable.
Yeah, agreeable can be misconstrued. It's not
100%.
It's not that you're disagreeable. It's that you agree when you really agree, and when you disagree, then you disagree.
100%.
Not in a jerk way or a dick way, but
No.
like I don't think that's the best move for us and our family, and this is what I think we should do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love you and everything, but no, we're gonna go down this path.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it, but
And they are unwavering. They do not veer off that.
and then if you go a layer deeper, what are you really saying when you're just agreeable? When you're agreeable because you're afraid,
Yeah, out of fear.
what does it say to the woman? In my opinion, it means that you can't go out into the world and make any sort of way.
Yeah, you are absolutely going to be fucking trounced.
Yes.
By anything that comes our way. You will not be able to protect me. You will not be able to protect my kids. I'm going to have to fend for myself because basically I'm with a man who isn't a real man.
It's like two feminine essences together.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
It should be.
And then what happens? What happens when that happens? You have a scenario in the relationship where that feminine essence goes away. Why? Because you almost have this counterbalance where the masculine essence, let's call it, starts to diminish. The female essence has to make up for that diminishing masculine essence. So the female starts to become more masculine, the male starts to become more feminine, and then you have this help me out here. You have this switch of energy, and that is the majority.
That's the death sentence.
That is
of a relationship.
So exactly. That's literally what I was going to get into. I was going to say there's some sort of word I'm looking for. I can't think of the word, but you have this switch of dynamics, right? And I guarantee you, number one, that is why men have no idea why relationships end, okay? It's because of that dynamic shift. And then number two, that's why you have 70% of all divorces initiated by the woman. That's not some sort of like anomaly, okay? There's a reason why that happens. And then when that happens, the men are fucking dumbfounded. They don't know what the fuck happened. They don't know why that's happening. They don't know what happened exactly. She's crazy. She's a bitch.
Whatever.
She's
I
this.
did everything
She's that.
for her.
Exactly.
She cheated on me. She's
Exactly.
not loyal. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Blah, blah.
So that's exactly why. That's the explanation for why relationships end in that way.
When that happens, and you hold up a mirror to that guy and say, "No, you're lacking.
It's actually your fault.
You're lacking."
Yeah.
That's when the attack comes out on Twitter.
Exactly.
And because,
IG, whatever. It's because these men don't want to look at themselves and realize, oh, it's actually my issue. It's actually me that I'm to blame.
I'm weak. I'm not putting the effort in. I'm not making my own way in the world. I'm emotionally unstable.
Yes.
I don't have a strong masculine essence. I don't stand for anything in this world.
Exactly.
I'll just go along with whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why they can't deal with it. They have a hard time understanding that they have to change in order to attract the lifestyle that they want out of life. It's a lot easier to go through life thinking that you don't have to change and you shouldn't have to change versus realizing you have to change in order to attract that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's like the law of inertia. An object at rest continues to stay at rest.
Yeah.
And when you're looking ahead and thinking, oh my God, if I want to become that guy, you know how much work that's going to take? Like, I'm going to have to potentially try to start a business on my own. I'm going to have to go out into the world and put myself in challenging situations. I'm going to have to grow as a man. I'm going to have to learn to become a man. I shouldn't have to do that.
It's way easier.
A woman should love me for who I am. And if they don't, then basically fuck women. Right?
Yeah, you will have a woman that will love you for who you are, but she will not be a high value woman. And the majority of non-high value women are not good looking and attractive. They are not.
You're gonna get blasted.
I don't care because it is what it is. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, women trade their current women. A female's currency is the level of attractiveness. Our currency,
it's their strongest currency.
100%.
Like in a world, the world game that we're all in. That's how the game works.
It is,
and there's other factors.
Of course,
let's not get it twisted.
There's other factors down the road. But initially, that is the currency that they trade. That is it.
1,000%.
Yeah,
and a man's currency is
and a man's currency is the ability to provide and protect. Simple as that. And so let's go a little bit. Let's back up and explain what that actually means. So when a woman looks at a man and tries to determine whether or not that man can provide and protect, what do they look for? They look for stature. They look for, okay, how tall is he? Is he in good shape? Does he look good? Does he still have his hair? Like, that shit matters. What is he driving? And this is why men start to become, I guess, feel attacked. Because once you start getting into, what does he drive? What's his house look like? Is his car dirty? Is his house dirty? That kind of shit. Because that tells them it's not necessarily that they're money hungry. It's because they see that as that man's ability to provide for them. It's an initial indication that man has navigated the world successfully enough to have this type of material possession that will translate to her saying that, oh, he's at the upper echelon of society, which means that he has the ability to provide at the highest level for me and my offspring. It is as simple as that.
Agreed. There's one layer deeper. You said that's the the surface level stuff.
Of course, it's surface level.
But what they are really testing, that'll get you on a couple dates.
Yep.
But what they're really testing when they're sitting down with you is if those externals
meet the internal.
Are they representative of what's really going on
100%.
internally?
Yep.
And they are going to poke you and test you to see what your fortitude is internally. And if she can make you love her so much that you're willing to everything else was a facade and you only did all that just to get her.
Exactly.
You're done.
And this is why men will think that women are crazy, is because of those tests.
They'll also think that, yes, 100%, because you failed the test. And they'll also think that they're only after money and status. And, some percentage of women are.
Sure.
And a lot of women probably just get frustrated. They can never find a guy that meets that. So they just say, well, I might as well go be rich then.
Fuck it. Might as well get a rich guy. Like, seriously.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of times you'll see a lot of even like rich women, they'll cheat. They'll go back to their guy that fucks them real good or whatever. And they don't understand. Nobody gets it. Right?
Yeah. But it's really the internal capacities, which
100%.
truthfully can only be developed in the real world through a lot of, maybe some people are just born naturally with it, or they're taught by a masculine father, or you've gone out into the world and put yourself in challenging situations and overcome them over and over and over again, and sat down and been on dates and learned from, whatever, right? You've developed the character.
Well, this is why women actually find entrepreneurs attractive. It's not because they're entrepreneurs or because they're wealthy or whatever. It's because they're risk takers. And being a risk taker is attractive. It's not the fact that he's a risk taker. It's because of what that tells the woman instinctively, that he has nuts, he has balls, and he's willing to take risks, which also goes back and feeds back to their instinctive and biological necessity to be with a man that can protect.
It's one of the layers. There's many layers,
of course,
but
that's
that's
at the basic fucking instinctive biological level.
Did you see the stuff that's with that actor Jonah Hill?
Oh man, I was literally going to ask you about that, but that's one of the
it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I actually wanted to get you on in here last week, because that fucking topic hit hot, dude. You know how many guys DM'd me?
Oh man.
You need to talk about this on your podcast, because I want to understand what you think about this scenario. So let's get into the fucking Jonah Hill scenario.
I overheard, I don't know who it was, maybe in the office or something. Some people were talking about that. Like, yeah, if she was a surfer and all this stuff and she's hanging out with these guys, he should be pissed and whatever else. And then somebody else was like, well, if he married her and she was into that and now she's just doing what she was doing when they were met, then he was wrong, right? So it's kind of a little bit of a back and forth. And what I do is, I understand both sides. What I really do is like, hey, like he's got the surface success and stuff like that, but deep down he's got some level of insecurity
For sure.
that is oozing out.
Oh, big time.
And what he's doing is blaming her for his insecurity.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's other, when you're at that level, not many guys percentage wise can compete with you.
Yeah.
On his level of success. You're
Yeah.
a Hollywood actor. You're at all the red carpet events. Blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. The average guy ain't whatever. But if she's hanging out with other celebrities and other really good looking guys that are also wealthy, then it starts to maybe hit your ego a little bit. And that's where the deep level of character cannot be faked. Right?
Yeah.
You got to a certain point with your fame and success and wealth, and you have a certain level of internal fortitude to get to that level. But there's another level.
Like Jonah Hill, you got smoked the fuck out.
It seems like it. It seems like
it. Now here's one thing. I will give him a little bit of respect for doing that, in a sense of laying out boundaries. You can't blame the guy for actually putting it out there. If that's what he fucking requires to be in a relationship, hey, whatever. That's what he requires. However, you got smoked out. Like, you got smoked out, dude.
It's
like,
all I could think of as I was reading through.
Yeah, you got smoked out.
It just seemed, like he got. Tilted.
Now I will say this: if you are the type of man that is capable of building such strong attraction in that woman, she's probably not going to do anything for you to even question. Mm-hmm. That's the key, is developing such strong attraction that she doesn't even feel compelled to cross a line. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with actually setting boundaries. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think that certain boundaries like that in particular don't have to be said. And that if you've built a certain amount of, again, internal confidence and fortitude and attraction, that will dictate where the relationship is headed and establish those boundaries that you don't even have to say.
Yeah. And hey, look, we're all human. There's going to be some tests of boundaries here and there, whatever. But they're only said once.
Yeah.
I'm only saying it once, right?
Yeah.
This is my boundary.
Yeah.
And you can feel that I'm serious about this, and I have other options.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't respect my boundaries, I'm out. And it's not going to be over text message.
Yeah.
A long messaging.
That's
thread.
what I was going to say too. I mean, text message over that like that, it's a wrong move too.
What that told me is that this had been
it's festering.
a testing of boundaries that weren't enforced for a long period of time, and it got to a point where you're texting about it.
Yeah.
It's evidence of a flaw,
a dragged out
situation that you've tested my boundaries here.
Yeah.
You've reached the limit. This is it. I'm telling you right now, this is my boundary.
Yeah.
And if you don't respect it, then I'm respectfully gonna have to move on.
What an interesting scenario.